Hello everybody and welcome to another qualifying session. Here we are in Singapore for the first time ever within our league. Now today will definitely be a very interesting race. After last race, Harry getting DNF, Carl taking the win, and the championship is really tight between Harry and Carl right now. We've definitely got battle to the end here, so definitely going to be a very interesting and very decisive qualifying here today for those two. But of course we cannot forget about the other four drivers who are here and ready and willing to absolutely, hopefully, dominate today. But can they truly show what they are made of today? That will definitely be the interesting question. But as we go down the list, the only person who's actually out right now is Jamie on his outlap. So definitely going to be very interesting, that's for sure. Yes, let's see what time he can do. He is we don't actually know where he is, because we need to put it up. Of course, all the data. You got your telemetry, you got your lap data, and last but very not least, you got your full track map here. He is about halfway until the finish line here, I would say. Maybe just before halfway. So we still got a bit to go before he reaches that point. But I don't think anybody else is actually out yet. No, Carl is actually. My correction, Carl's out now. Callum, it follows him, also out. Harry isn't out yet, and neither is Preston is out as well. Sorry, correction. Ritvik's still not out either, but I'm sure he'll be following very soon, that's for sure. Jamie is nearing his first time lap, and of course, as we do round here in qualifying sessions, we watch one lap from each person, and then we just person, if I could speak today, it'd be great, wouldn't it? But yes, we watch one person's time lap, and then we just keep going between the different drivers, to be fair. But it would definitely be very interesting here today. And I'm not sure if you hear the breaks in my voice, I'm currently fighting the urge to say trying to stop that less and less, because that's not what you want to hear in a F1 commentator, or a commentator in complete here. But here we go with Jamie on his time lap, taking it very carefully around that corner, nicely done, trying to get the amount of pace he can on this short little straight here, round this bend, nicely done there. Using the DRS, no, not using the DRS, it seems like he lost it, he was about to get it, then he just lost the DRS, so that's very unfortunate. But purple sector 1 here for Jamie, since he's the first person to start his time lap here. Of course the AIs are following on are in front of him, and Carl just behind him, and I believe Carl's just actually taken that purple sector 1 there. Yes, he has. But as we go back to Jamie now, trying to get that full pace out of that straight, and takes that curve quite fast, but makes it over nicely, and that one as well. But as we said, takes it nicely and goes round this nice wiggly bit of road here. Yeah, we're not calling it by its F1 names today. We're calling it weird names, people. Welcome to the Weird Name F1 series. Something's happened to Jamie here. He's gone into the well, I wouldn't say parking zone. Well, actually, I would say parking zone, because that's what mainly people do with that bit. They just park themselves there, because they can't seem to stay on the bloody track. But a lot of the 5-place grid penalty for Vettel for a collision with Giovinazzi. Probably their AI stopping as per usual. But now Ritvik is out on his outlap. Nicely done. Preston's gone out already, retired from the session. Our first DNF of the session here. Wow, not good at all. And that's followed by Carl setting 137.475 for that P1 spot. That will definitely be clinical against Harry in their championship fight, but you can't forget they are teammates, so how are they going to play that? Of course, you have the AI stopping there, being very annoying indeed. But about to get DRS here for Carl. We're about to watch his time lap here. Due to the fact that he's second one on it, now using the full pace of that Honda engine down the straight, taking that corner quite nicely there, going around this corner as well. Will he take that nicely? Yes, he goes in on the tight inside of that corner, I would say. We got a text message from Preston here. Apparently he lost his rear on a corner he doesn't normally spin on, so that's definitely going to be very interesting. I mean, Preston said he was very good at this track, so Preston going out the first one is definitely going to be very interesting. Now Callum gets that P2 spot with a 1:39.394. That's 2 seconds behind Carl there. That time difference is major, but can Callum make up that time? That will definitely be the interesting question, that's for sure. Jamie now getting that P10 spot with 1:52.111, but due to the fact that, of course, he went into the parking bay and, you know, just park there, you can't park there, sir. Callum's going to love me for saying that, I'm sure. He's probably laughing right now, aren't you, Callum? But yes, definitely very interesting here. We've been watching Carl's lap the whole time, but not been talking about it, so we'll come back to another lap of his. But he's going into the pit lane here. Nicely done there. Now Callum no, not onto another fast lap, sorry. Correction there. Jamie onto another fast lap here. And we're just finishing off this current fast lap with Callum now, and the sector 3 looks to be good so far, I would say. Now with a 1:32, 1:33, I'm not sure whether he's actually going to, no, he will not beat Carl today. He won't even beat his own time, going into 1:41s, 1:42s now, going into the pit lane, it seems. So maybe going for new tyres, who knows? Is this track very good at wearing your tyres? That's the question, really. Again, Jamie now improving by 2 positions with 1:41.825. Nice work there by Jamie to get up those 2 positions. Maybe that'll be clinical and get some points here for Jamie today. It would definitely be nice to see. He's been getting very unlucky. There's Preston where it's DNF. And Jamie spun again. Very unlucky. I think he spun earlier. That's why I say again. But yeah, I mean, his exact same place, I'm guessing, as Preston, because his wheel was just hanging there for dear life. Trying not to despawn him that moment. Very unluckily, Jamie keeps spinning every now and then. He needs to try and remain in control of that car, not go over those corners so fast. I think that is what is causing him to spin. But who knows? We'll definitely have to wait and see if he can improve or not. But as we go back up to the P3 spot here, we have a 1:40.887 with Ritvic in the other McLaren. Nice work there by Ritvic to get that P3 spot. He, going back on old races, he was getting those positions. He got very unlucky in some races with those DNFs, but he did get some positions in some races. I mean, he got P3, I'm pretty sure, in Spain, and maybe another one there is my memory going again. But yeah, P3 in Spain. Can he get on the podium again today? It would be great to see, but who knows for sure. But as we now go round that nice bend with Ritvic here. He seems to be on low fuel or about to hit low fuel mode, as you can see the red flickering fuel light there on your telemetry. But we'll see whether he can get into the pits or go on for another fast lap, even though he is basically on low fuel mode. So who knows? Definitely going to be interesting. But finally, Harry is on his fast lap here. Been a while, I'm guessing. I just didn't notice. But Harry now taking it nicely round that bend, trying to not lose too much speed round that corner from a Honda engine. Now taking it round this bend as well. Nicely done round that little chicane, I would say, most probably. But here we go now with Harry, nicely done round those bends as well. And then here we come to the other bends. Nicely taken there by Harry, not too over the, keep saying that, once you start, you don't stop. Not too far over the corners, and nicely staying on track there. I really can't speak today, can I? But Harry, unfortunately, setting a 1:51.700. Very unlucky there by Harry. I wonder what went wrong. He must have spun out or something. I'm not too sure there. Hopefully he can improve his time, but who knows. Callum, as I said, back out, looking to potentially gain those 2 seconds on Carl. Can he do it or not? That is the very interesting question that can only be answered once he hits the finish line. And we're about to head around this bend. Nicely done. And on to the fast lap, using that DRS to get a fast getaway and try and get as much advantage he can on Carl, if he can even overtake him. I mean, P2 won't be a bad spot for Callum, to be fair. But will he like that? Will he, I mean, every F1 driver wants to get as high as they can. Will he accept P2 or will he not? Who knows? But now using DRS down the straight. Here we are in the Ferrari, using about full power of the Ferrari engine. If he can get any more out of it, he might want to soon. That's for sure. But now round that bend very nicely. Coming up to the second bend here. Nicely done. I know it's not the second turn, alright, you know, but I said second bend because it's basically a double bend, alright? Shush. Shush, you schmuck. If you know where that's from, you're legendary. But here we go now. Whoa! Callum may not, have liked P2, but will he like P3? Because Harry has just beaten Callum Simon with a 138.900, just below that 1 second mark. Nicely done by Harry to get a Red Bull P1, P2 qualifying session. Potentially, that'll definitely be major within the championship title. But can Harry beat his championship rival for his time? That is definitely a question. Purple Sector 1 here for Harry. That is a brilliant start to get that Purple Sector 1, I must say. But now go around this bend very nicely, taking it. Nice one there. I was watching Callum's lap, but I've gone on to Harry's now. Very weird. As I said, I'm trying my best to fight the urge. But it's a struggle. I don't know why. It shouldn't be a struggle for a, you know, someone making YouTube videos and commentating hour-long F1 race. But we won't talk about that, will we? But here we go now. Purple Sector 2 as well for Harry. We are on for a major time with him. Wow. This could be major with it. If this could change everything, if he can get on top of Carl with that P1 spot, that will definitely be major. Oh, little spin there, but tries his best to keep it. Will that affect his time? I think it will. Now coming up to that 130 section, 131, 132, 133. Will that spin affect him? 135, 136, 137, 138. Just off. If he didn't spin, I'm sure he would have got it, but very unlucky there for Harry. He's going to have to push and push and push again and again, but can he do it? That is sorely the question. But now Jamie's still in P12, in the pits currently. Can he come out and improve his time? That's definitely going to be the well, the question, isn't it? But who knows? But here we go now with Callum, not on a new time lap yet. Will he stay on for a time lap? You know, people keep spinning within that area. It's totally going to be a weak spot for sure. Actually, no, he won't be going for a time lap because he is on low fuel mode. So he will be on into the pits to get that refuel. And we'll see what he can do when he comes back out. But now, speaking of coming back out, we have Jamie coming back out. As we just discussed, can he get higher? Because currently, as we can see, P12, he's definitely going to be wanting to improve that. But can he improve that? That is sorely the question, I'm sure. But who knows? But yeah, as I said, very unlucky for Preston to go P20. Can he improve that? I mean, like in the race, can he get those overtakes? I'm sure he can. We know what Preston can do. But will he be able to pull it off this race? Like, he always says he loves Singapore, yet he's DNF'd in this qualifying session. So, there's a lot of confusion going around, that's for sure. Here we go with Jamie now, going round these bends, trying his best to get onto his time lap with 3 minutes and 27 seconds left of this qualifying session here in Singapore for the first time ever, as I said, within our F1 league. Now, Jamie onto his time lap, using that DRS to try and get as much advantage as he can. Will that help him? That is the question. Going over those curves, that will definitely be interesting. I'm sure it might affect his time. He's definitely going to have to be more careful. I think he's doing it, thinking, oh yeah, this will help me. You know, this will get me more time. But it's not. It's actually slowing him down, hitting those curves. He needs to stick to racing line. He needs to stay on track. But will he? I hope so. But here we go now. Jamie taking that bend quite nicely. Of course, in the middle of all the AIs, because it's reached that point where all the AIs think actually, I still have work to do, so I'm going to come back out all at the same time, causing major traffic issues. But Jamie trying his best to get past those AIs in the way for traffic, shall we say, so his time doesn't get affected. Cole improves his time with a 131.428. Well done to Cole. That's definitely certified him at the top, I do believe, with 2 minutes left to go. Will that affect him? I don't know. Now Ritvic ahead, trying to let Jamie pass. He does, but has Ritvic slowed Jamie down? I mean, it is very likely, it is very possible to see, but who knows. Now Jamie trying his best to go around these bends very nicely, not hitting those curbs too much, not crashing and going into a wall too much, because that'd be very, very annoying and disappointing for him, I'm very sure. But now going around the final bend here and onto the main straight using the DRS and takes P4, beats his teammate and gets at 140.116. That is 7 tenths quicker than Ritvic, I believe. So well done to Jamie to get that from P12. That's 8 positions he's rose. So absolutely well done to him, I will say. But now Cole, of course, still out looking to hold his lead with basically 1 minute left to go. Can he keep that lead? I mean, with Harry in the pits currently not coming out, I don't think there'll be enough time for him to set a new time, even if he does come out now. So, I have no idea, to be fair, but definitely going to be interesting maps for sure. But here we go now with Carl. Going around these bends very nicely. Is he taking it carefully, or is he trying to be... No, he is definitely not beating his time this time round, because he's reached that 141, 142. Now going into the pits, however, got that DRS, but of course not using it because he's gone into the pits. I really hope that when it gets down to like the last second, and if these guys are still on their laps, they just cross the line and they don't go into pits, because going into pits is really annoying because it just takes longer to finish a qualifying session. But speaking of finishing a qualifying session, we have less than 10 seconds left of this session here in Singapore, for the first time ever qualifying session in Singapore, and a race in a minute, so you guys better stick around. But now Ritvic dropping down to P7, will he drop any further? That's the question. Now Ritvic bounces straight back up to 150, 150, P5 with a 140.261. I was getting my numbers confused there. So well done to the McLaren driver, absolutely well done. But now Callum finishes his time lap. What's he going to get? Has he risen? Let's find out. Here we are with your qualifying leaderboard. We have, of course, Carl in P1, Harry in P2, Callum unfortunately not improving his time as sticking P3, Jamie in P4, Ritvic in P5, and due to DNF, Preston in P20. So will Preston be able to get up? Who knows? Find out in a minute in the race at Singapore. Hello everybody and welcome back to another race day. Here we are in Singapore for the first time ever within our league. And of course, what a great race we're hopefully in for today. This track does have 2 DRSs and 1 speed trap, but it does have a lot of corners, tight corners to be precise. So maybe not so much pace here today as we normally say. Just being more careful and trying not to slip out, because you can slip out very easily on this track. But yeah, hopefully we're in for a very good race. Hopefully the guys don't DNF. Hopefully we see lots of good battles going on and side-by-side racing going on here today. But who knows? Why wait around any longer? Let's get straight into the Singapore Grand Prix. Here we go. Hello everybody and welcome to the Singapore Formation Lap. Here we are, of course, for the Grand Prix, but you can't begin the Grand Prix without Formation Lap, so definitely could be a very interesting race today. Of course, we saw Preston DNF, unfortunately, in qualifying. He only won 2, so he's definitely going to have to be very careful. But he has a lot of work to do anyway, because he is in P20, stuck behind those slow Hasses, the Alfa Romeo, and the 2 Aston Martins, of course. No, actually, the good Aston Martin and then the bad one. But you know, obviously, going to be a very interesting race, that's for sure. And when I say good Aston Martin, although he's below Lance Stroll right now, I mean Sebastian Vettel, of course, because four-time world champion. What's Lance Stroll got? I'm very sorry. But yes, we go back up to the top here, and Carl is leading the pack. Whilst Harry is very slowly being in second place, a bit behind Carl, but definitely going to be a very interesting race now today. What on earth is Carl doing? He is slowing down for the entire pack, or is he just slowing down for Harry? I do not know, but going to be definitely very interesting. Here we go, of course, with Callum in P3, you have the two McLarens, Jamie P4, Ritvick, you have P5. Hopefully the McLarens can pull off some more points here today, but will they be able to keep up? Will they be able to contend? Hopefully so. Hopefully we'll see it. But it'll be definitely very interesting to see what type of race here we have today. But of course, we cannot do no race without the data. Of course, that is your telemetry. That is your lap data. And that is your full track map. There you are. We're nearly at the end of our formation lap, as you can see. Just going around the last few bends, last few corners, so we're about to get underway here, but got to wait a few more seconds before the excitement can get underway and lights will go out. But yeah, everyone's about to line back up at the grid one at a time. Of course, Preston unfortunately will be the last one to line up at the grid today, but maybe not the last one to finish if he can majorly improve his time. But will we see that? Hopefully so. I really do hope so. I'd love to see that once again. Of course, the last time we saw him down in P20 was Sochi, and we all know how that ended, don't we, Callum? Just thought I'd mention your name because he overtook you for P1, didn't he? But we won't talk about that because Callum will get annoyed. I can already tell. But here we go now. Lights are about to go out any second now. For some reason, we're actually going to start. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Here we go. It's lights out and away we go for the Singapore Grand Prix. Straight away, we have no overtake. No, Ritvick gets the overtake on. Well, he almost... No, Callum's dropped down to P5. Sorry, course correction. Needed to see it. Now Callum's getting attacked by the AlphaTauri. I believe Sonoda's just got the overtake on Callum. What is going on with Callum? He's falling quite far down. Ritvick almost got the overtake on Harry, but Harry managed to just defend. Nicely done. But talk about improvement. We have Preston rising up the ranks to a solid P15 here. So nicely done there by Ritvick, by Preston. Now up to a P14 after overtaking the Alpine of Esteban Ocon. The supposed so hard to take over car has just been overtaken by the legend himself, Preston. But of course, talk about needing to overtake AIs. Callum, again, still in P6, got overtaken by not one, but two of the McLarens and one AlphaTauri of Yuki Tsunoda. What is going on with Callum today? He's just had a really bad start. Can he improve it in time? That will definitely be very interesting to see. But we go back up to the top of the pack with the two Red Bulls, painting the same picture we've seen basically every single race, and that is them leading the pack. But what is going on here? Jamie dropping down all the way to P16. I'm not sure whether he's crashed or hit a wall or parked it in a you can't park there, sir, zone. Maybe we'll get a live action replay from Jamie's perspective. Maybe you already would have seen it, who knows. But Carl sets the fast lap of the race with 1:45.033. Nice work there by Carl to set that time. Now Carl's ready and willing on those mediums. Of course, Harry on the mediums as well. You have Ritvick on softs. You have Callum. Oh, sorry, I missed Callum. You have Callum on mediums as well. You have Preston on mediums, and you have Jamie on mediums now. Was on softs, I believe, but now on mediums due to a pit stop. I believe he actually damaged his wing, and that's why he went so far back. Very unlucky start there by Jamie, but can he rise up just as Preston has done? Straight up to P10. Brilliant work by the Ferrari of Preston to get all the way up to P10. I must say, brilliant work indeed. But can he get any higher? That's definitely going to be the question that we're asking even for Jamie. But can Ritford get a bit higher? I mean, due to Jamie going quite far down now, Callum's up to a certain P5 position. Can he get back that P4 position from Sonoda? Hopefully so, with his DRS and ERS, but it's definitely going to be very interesting to see if he can catch up to the AlphaTauri. But he will probably need DRS for that, which will be activated, I'm pretty sure, next lap. So it's definitely going to be a very interesting tight race. Harry already a 4 seconds out from Carl. Carl just storming ahead. I was told he was good at Singapore, and he is really showing his class here today. And now he's setting the fastest up with 141.923. Brilliant work by Carl to set that time. DRS is now enabled. Here's where the real fight begins. Can Callum get ahead of Sonoda here? Who knows, but another man just got ahead. Is Preston ahead of that Alfa Romeo, sorry, had to remember the name a second there. Alfa Romeo of the Iceman himself, Kimi Räikkönen. He was overtaking him. I was scrolling down as he was overtaking. I just unfortunately missed it. But can he get the overtake on a certain other Alpine here? And he goes on the certain outside of the Alpine. Just had to do my corrections there to get it right, as I normally get it wrong. But he also does the same to Valtteri Bottas and claims that P7 position. Nice work there by Preston to come from P20 to P7. Now going to be after the other Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton here. Can he overtake the 7-time world champion himself? Well, we'll find out very soon. I'm very sure of it. But now, after the struggles of so long, Callum has managed to overtake the AlphaTauri of Yuki Tsunoda. Very well done there to Callum. Can he get overtake? Can he? Wish I could speak English today. Can he overtake the McLaren of Ritford? That will definitely be very interesting. Our first driver battle. But our first driver battle might be beginning sooner than expected, because Preston's just overtaken not the 1-time champion, not the 2-time, not the 3-time, but the, I'm going to make a massive jump here, the 7-time world champion. I know you're meant to go the 1, 2, 3, but no, the 4. But no, we made a massive jump to 7 people. Right, calm, but chill out. But here we go now with Preston, not accepting P6, but he wants that P5 position, using his DRS to overtake Callum. Nicely done by Preston. He is soaring up the field here today. Now all he has in his sights is his own teammate Callum. Can he get the overtake? Will Callum let him pass? That'll definitely be very interesting to see, that's for sure. But I'm sure that'll be happening sooner rather than later than Callum versus Ritvik would. Would Preston be better overtaking Callum so Preston can fight Ritvik? Who knows? I mean, is there going to be some certain team orders pulled through Binotto today? Who knows? Who knows? It's definitely going to be very interesting to see what the team orders say here in Singapore, as Valtteri Bottas knows all too well against his teammate Lewis Hamilton. We won't talk about those start times. Of course, they've moved on in the official F1, but they haven't moved on in this game yet. Of course, we are not yet on F1 2022. We will be, of course, next season. Major confirmation of the next season, which will be happening very soon from this video's release, I'm very sure. But probably in like 5-6 weeks time, maybe, because of course we've still got Brazil, we got Abu, and then maybe the week after, or we might have a few weeks break, who knows. Still haven't decided. We'll decide very soon, I'm sure of it. But now, yes, I said it earlier. I mean, no, before we speak about that, Carl set fastest time of the lap with 141.867. I'm surprised I remember that from when it went away a minute ago, but I do here, so I must be very smart. But clearly, team orders were pulled from Binotto, because Preston has got past Callum now. Did Callum let Preston pass because of team orders, or did Callum have permission from his team to fight Preston? That's going to be the question. And maybe you would have just seen a live action replay of that overtake. Who knows? It depends what overtakes it picks. But I was right. Callum couldn't overtake Ritvic, but guess who is about to, I'm sure. No offence, Ritvic. Preston, he's getting ever so close. Now for 0.266 gap. Now back up. He's jumping up and down. But come to the corners. And Preston is getting closer and closer here. Potentially getting the DRS. I don't think so this time. But Preston ever so close now. Potentially, no, not close enough on this corner. I do not know what's just happened to the times. That's weird. But now with a 0.68 gap, he'll definitely be looking for that DRS. And it's coming now. With a 0.5 second gap, can he get this overtake in time using that ERS? He clearly is desperate for that position. But the straight was not long enough for Preston to get the overtake. Very unfortunate by Preston. But he definitely wants that P3 position. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but I don't think Preston's had a podium for a while. I might be wrong about that. I might have to look over old race footage. Correct me if I'm wrong, but last time he had it was like Bahrain. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm wrong. For some reason I can't remember what happened in the recent previous races. But that doesn't matter, because Preston has the DRS, going on the inside of Ritvic and gets that P3 position. He is in the striking distance of that podium. Potentially, can he catch up to Harry with that 3.9 second gap? Of course, if he catches up to Harry, he has a 15 second gap to close on Carl, and we haven't seen that yet. We haven't seen Preston catch up to Carl. Will it happen here today in Singapore? Who knows? Again, I love the fact that hiccups come during a video. It didn't happen before, but it's happening now in a video because, you know, convenience, am I right? But here we go now with Preston going around these corners very nicely. Kind of, unfortunately, not being able to catch up to Ritvic very fast. But Jamie, quite a bit of an improvement from P20 up to P16. Got the overtake on Lewis Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, Kimi Raikkonen, and Yuki Tsunoda. Nice work there by Jamie. Almost those just handed to him, because I'm pretty sure those guys were higher, a lot higher, before I saw it. But who knows? Now, Preston, again, trying his utmost best to catch up to Harry. Unfortunately, we don't actually know what the gap is right now for some stupid reason. The game is bugging out once again. Thanks a lot, game. Can't wait for the new game, that's for sure. But when this video is released, of course, I'll be streaming F1 20... I was about to say F1 2022. F1 22 on my Twitch. Go follow that so you don't miss any of the series. It might be a single player one, it might be a two player one with Carl. Who knows? You're just gonna have to go watch it. And of course, around the time of this video's release, F1 Manager will be close, I'm sure, to coming out. So we'll be on that on Twitch as well. So go follow my Twitch for some F1 Manager content coming very soon, I am sure, to the Twitch channel. That is twitch.tv/D64YT. Little plug for you there whilst we're here racing in Singapore, because why the literal not? But now, Ritvic in the pitch, dropping down to P10, P11, P12, P13 maybe? No, it won't be P13. Mick Schumacher almost got the overtake, but Ritvic keeps it. Mick Schumacher has just stolen that position, but Ritvic says, iconic quote, no you don't, and steals that P12 position right the flip back. But that does mean that Jamie has also overtaken Mick Schumacher and is caught up to his teammate due to the pit stop from Ritvic. Will Jamie overtake Ritvic, or will Ritvic fight back? That is definitely going to be the question, that's for sure. But here we go, up at the top now. Preston is definitely catching Harry. What is going on with Harry? Might I add, if Preston can overtake Harry, what that will mean for the championship. I know there won't be, you know, much. No, there'll be less points going to Harry. And if Carl can remain P1 spot, then he gets the most points from this race and keeps on his lead in the championship. I mean, who knows? It's definitely going to be very interesting, that's for sure. But now maybe, no, not with DRS because he's not close enough. But now he is. Will he get the DRS? He won't be getting the DRS on this straight, unfortunately. But next time round, I'm sure he will. That is a 0.8 second gap. Harry's probably fighting for his utter life right now, not to get overtaken by Preston. What is going to happen here? It's definitely going to be a very interesting battle. We haven't seen this battle happen for a while. I don't think, again, correct me if I'm wrong, because my own league's knowledge is not very good, I will be honest. But now Preston with that DRS catching up to Harry. 0.4 second gap now. Harry trying his utter best to get away, but he just can't break, he just can't lose Preston off of his tail. I really, it's amazing that Preston is finally fighting back up at the top after Harry. Can he get this overtake? I really, really would love to see it, just so Harry can fight back, get the overtake again, and it can go on and on all race, because we love the overtakes, of course, because it brings action, excitement, and just joy to this series. But here we go with DRS within a 0.3 second range. Is the straight long enough for the overtake to happen? He's getting ever so close, but it wasn't. That means it will be happening probably on the next straight, unless Harry can whip up some utter miracle and get past. Not past, get away from Preston. It's definitely going to be a very interesting one, that's for sure. Now we drop back down to Ritvic very carefully, because Jamie has just got the overtake on Ritvic here. So well done to Jamie for the overtake on Ritvic. You're probably getting annoyed with me doing that. I just thought it'd be very cool to do that, because why not, you know? It's different, alright? It's different. But if we go up to the top here, Preston is within range. And unfortunately, on the long straight, he wasn't able to get it. 0.3 second gap. Somehow, someway, Harry is managing to keep off Preston off of his tracks. I do not know how he's managed to do this, but Preston has the DRS here with a 0.2 second gap. He's going on the inside of Harry. Harry can't close him off in time, and Preston soars past the Red Bull of Harry up to P2. It has been a long time since we've seen this, folks. Ferrari, not just any Ferrari, but the Ferrari of Preston up in P2. I mean, we've never seen this. You know, obviously a Ferrari, Preston Ferrari in P2, but we have seen him in P1 before, drop down to P3 due to a 3-second time penalty, I do believe, that Harry and Carl took advantage of in Jeddah. Now that I remember, but the difference will be, can Preston catch up to Carl? I mean, two strong competitors trying to either catch up or lose the other. I mean, right now it does look like Carl is getting away. However, Preston in P2 could be brilliant. Actually, no, I believe Preston's had a P2 sooner, because I remember there was a time where Preston and Callum double stacked it, got new softs, was like, yeah, we're going to catch him. Carl was still staying at an absolute, like, 3 arms reach out of there. Even on old meat, well, not, it wasn't old meat, it was like sort of new mediums. Carl was getting away, so Preston has been in P2 before with his Ferrari. I'm very sorry, Preston, to forget your glorious P2. I'll try to remember it next time. But this will be major for the championship. I mean, if Harry can't get back up with 21 laps left to go, this is truly major. Now, Jamie almost got the overtake on Antonio Giovinazzi. 5-second penalty for Ritvic for a severe collision with Giovinazzi. And now severe collision with Yuki Tsunoda, I do believe. And now Ritvic, Jamie has gone, so his AI is now driving. Very unfortunate. But Ritvic, what is going on with Ritvic here? I do wonder, that's for sure. Now with the 5-second penalty? I just saw it a minute ago and yeah, I can't remember it. Penalties, yes, 5-second penalty there. I wonder what happened. I mean, who knows, there was some sort of incident, and now Jamie having to pit due to it. So very unfortunate to Jamie for that accident. He's been getting very unlucky here today in Singapore. Can he find redemption it's definitely going to be very interesting to see, that's for sure. But now Carl up to, well, not up to, still in that P1 position, and it's getting very hot in my room. But last time, I'm pretty sure I had the window open. The ice cream truck, you could hear it in the video. I mean, I've just gone back over that Spain footage, and you could hear the ice cream truck in the background of that video, and I'm like, what? Why? It wasn't even that loud, but my window was open, to be fair, so I don't know. But Harry now trying his utter best to catch up to Preston, but he just can't for some reason. I do not know why, but he's really keeping this gap. Preston is. So definitely very interesting. But can I just add something? Carl, all the way, 24-second gap between him and Preston. Then you've got Preston and Harry close together. Then you've got an 18-second gap between Harry and Callum. Yes, granted, he's just pitted, but before he pitted, it was like a 12-second gap. So it's crazy. Now, Sebastian Vettel, the good Aston Martin, this was clearly what I was aiming towards when I said good Aston Martin, is up to P4. Because he's just overtaken Callum. So is George Russell, who's up to P5. Callum trying his utter best to get out before Pierre Gasly can catch up to him. And he has, so nicely done there by Callum. Can he catch up to George Russell here? That's definitely going to be a very interesting thing to do. And I'm sure he would love to do that. Can he do it though? That is the question. But now, Press is still not catching up to Carl. But, I mean, he's in a good position. He's in that P2 position. If he can just keep that position, it will be great for Preston. I mean, yes, it won't get him any closer to the championship, but it will just still be a P2 position, and it'd be great to see a Ferrari on the podium once again. And one that stops a P1, P2 Red Bull for once. That's quite the exciting image, because I'm pretty sure most of the races this season have been Red Bull P1s, P2s. So a change wouldn't be too bad, to be fair. But we're on lap 12 now of 31. So that is your 19 laps left to go. So we are counting down these laps very, very, very quickly indeed. I mean, we're majorly ahead. It's not a surprise, to be fair, but we're going to go back out to the outside view now. We've been on the inside view for a while now, so we're going to go back. And you can see Harry just in the background trying to catch up, but he can't for some reason. He's falling behind Preston, but I mean, will he get redemption in Brazil, potentially, if Harry can't overtake Preston? I mean, look in Jeddah, he was keeping up with Preston, but for some reason, in Singapore, he just can't. So I really do not know. But now Callum has overtaken the Williams, his old team, the Williams of George Russell. Well done to Callum for that overtake to get past George Russell and get that P5 position. I had to breathe a minute. But yeah, definitely a very interesting race so far. Ritvic now has overtaken the Williams of Nicholas Latifi due to Latifi pit stopping there. So nice one there by Ritvic to get that P18 position. But we're going to go back up. I'm being silly with stuff I'm doing today. But it's part of a fine commentary, isn't it? I hope anyway. But here we go now. Still with Carl up in P1. He has been dominant this whole race. Not had a chance. I mean, I'm pretty sure that is the Williams of Nick. Yes, that is the Williams of Nicholas Latifi that he's just overtaken. So he's now onto the Alpha Atari, which Ritvic has just overtaken. Actually, there will be no overtake of Yuki Tsunoda. Well, technically there will be, but Yuki Tsunoda has DNF'd here. I wonder why. Engine failure, perhaps. I'm really not sure. But nice work there by Carl to get past, well, lap the DNF'd Yuki Tsunoda here. I'm trying to find what to say. Jamie has now got past Yuki Tsunoda due to Tsunoda, and so has Ritvic. So Ritvic is up to P17. You got Jamie in P18. So we're really breaking down the doors here for the drivers to get up due to DNFs. I mean, come on, or pit stops, of course. But now, back up to the top. I apologise about that silent break. We're trying to get rid of those as best as we can, but that requires a lot of talking and a lot of breathtaking, and it's tough, especially in a really hot room where you don't want the ice cream truck in the background of your video. I mean, why would you? But Harry, with a 29-second gap between him and Preston now, I mean, what has happened? The top three are really separated here. I mean, what is going on? I mean, Carl just dominating this whole race. I mean, even if he pits, I don't think there's a way for Preston to catch him up. I mean, not majorly. I mean, yes, majorly he can catch him up, but not overtake him. That's what I'm trying to say. And I mean, you know, a saying goes for if Preston pits, which he is now, in fact, speak of the devil, that's perfectly timed if I do say so myself. I don't think Harry's going to overtake him. You know, I really don't think that's possible, you know, with the time barrier they've got, with the time gap they've got. But who knows? I mean, Preston now getting out. Is Harry going to be able to get ahead? No, he's way too far off. He's just at the start of the pit entry when Preston's basically at the start of the pit exit. I mean, don't get me wrong, Harry is very close now, and probably within striking distance if he can catch up in time. But then again, you know, who knows. But due to the pit stop of Sebastian Vettel, the good Aston Martin driver, Callum goes up to P4. Nicely done there by Callum to get that P4 position, I must say. Now we're seeing a similar solution that we have seen before. That is Carl in P1, of course, a Red Bull. Preston in P2, of course, a Ferrari. Harry in P3, of course, a Red Bull. And Callum in P4, of course, in a Ferrari. Just trying to finish that sentence off would be great. But yeah, we have seen this before somewhere. If you can remind me, that would be great. But yeah, we have seen this before, so definitely very interesting. But we're now on lap 15 due to Carl absolutely stonking it. I mean, he's just pitted with a 53-second gap between him and Preston. I mean, Preston's nowhere near overtaking him. I don't know what's happened to Preston here. I do not know, but he's just majorly fallen behind. I really don't know. It's weird. But first one to DNF is an egg. Oh, I love that from Callum. Oh, I love that friendly driver banter. Which is probably going to turn into a hateful rivalry if you're on Netflix Drive to Survive. If you get that joke, once again, you're legendary as always. But now Jamie managing to get up to P18 due to Antonio Giovinazzi DNFing. Redfick up to a P14, but of course still with that 5-second time penalty. So I'm pretty sure it's just going to drop down to P17 anyway, if that is correct. No, actually I believe he'll just stay P16, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong there. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm right. I don't know, though. But Harry trying his absolute best to catch up to Preston, but not being able to. There, of course, Giovinazzi has gone off, where Preston is just about to go past. We're going to watch him just see for range of Giovinazzi. Exactly where Sonoda came off, actually. So that's kind of weird that the two drivers have come off in the exact same place. But goes to show the dangers of that corner if you're not careful, really. But Ritvick is closing in on the Mercedes of Valtteri Bottas. Can he catch up in time? It would be great to see, but it's definitely going to be an interesting one. Using his ERS when he can and when he can't, of course. That makes no sense. Don't try and correct me. Using his DRS to catch up to Valtteri Bottas here. Can he get the overtake? It's DRS as well now. It has been for a minute. For all of you thinking I'm behind, I'm not. Yeah, I know you lot think I'm off most of the time, so yeah. Right. I'm losing concentration. Back up to the top we go. Here we go with Carl. Of course, still on lap 16. We are closing in on getting to the 20s. Wow, Preston set fastest time of the lap. Fastest lap of the race, or not fastest time of the lap. Fastest lap of the race with 121 point. What was it? Not on there for some reason. Gap. a fast lap, 141.423. Well done there by Preston to get the fast lap of the race. I'm actually very surprised no one has DNF'd yet. Very, very shocked. I mean, Carl almost hit the wall there. So I'm sure it will happen. I mean, times are gone now. I'm sure it will happen eventually, but who knows? That's for sure. But yeah, it's definitely a very interesting one to see. Here we go. Now with Carl, of course, 25 seconds ahead. Harry's still trying to catch up to Preston here, but not being able to. Very unfortunately, Preston just staying at an arm's length here. Well done to Preston, I must say. I mean, Callum, 20-second gap now between him and Harry. I think he'll be holding that P4 position, and I think he'll be thankful for it. I mean, P4's not too bad anyway, so who knows. But we go back up to the top. Now, I mean, Carl, as we said earlier, now on to lap 17, absolutely dominating this race. I mean, dominating whilst I'm boiling in my room. That's just great. But yeah, I mean, we're just gonna move past that. Harry now with a 4.8 second gap between him and Preston. Preston once again setting fast time of that 141.202. He is catching up to Carl. He is setting fast times of lap. He is catching up. There is no flipping doubt about it. What is this? He is catching up. Can Preston fully catch up? I would love to see it. I'm sure all of you would love to see it as well. I'll tell you that now. But once again, Harry in that P3 position with 5.3 seconds gap between him and Preston. Do you know what the problem is? With everyone being separated so, madly. No overtakes are happening by the drivers. I mean, look, Ritvick not being able to catch up to Valtteri Bottas here. Jamie not being able to catch up to Nicholas Hiffy. Preston really far gap between him and Carl. Harry's struggling to catch up to Preston, and Callum absolutely big massive gap. 1 second smaller than Preston's gap to Carl, but still a big massive gap between him and Harry. I mean, there's just no overtakes happening. It's another one of those, like, you know, hard to commentate, no overtakes videos. But we carry on going, I'm guessing. So lap 18 here. So we're not out of woods yet. We could get some good overtakes, actually. And I'm actually gonna finally open my window because it is utterly boiling in here. But now Preston's out still the fastest lap of the race with a 140.838. Every lap he gets a second closer to Carl. I mean, do not mistake this person right here, people. He is an absolute madman when it comes to F1, and he can catch up to you if he wants to. So will he be able to catch up to Carl today? It would definitely be very interesting to see, and I do hope so, because I would love to see that battle between Preston and Carl, that's for sure. But lap 18 out of 31 here, we are getting ever so close to the final lap of race. I mean, it's got to that point now where it's like the laps have gone so quickly past, but now they're going so somewhere. I do not know why. I mean, I'm guessing it's just Carl is just not going as fast. He's taking it quite easy, quite slow, because he doesn't have to rush, does he? I mean, this track, as long as he does a DNF, as long as he doesn't go like snail's pace, is his to lose. You know, I mean, will he lose? That is the question. I'm sure we'll find out the answer to very soon. I'm sure of it. But here we go now with Carl still trying to keep the gap, but not being able to keep that gap. I mean, Preston breaking away at that gap every single lap. I'm sure will be down to a 20-second gap this lap. I mean, it just didn't happen, and he is seriously catching up. Could this be a 19-second gap here? It could well be, actually. 2.3, 2.2. We won't discuss how I just struggled to say 20, will we? 20 20.0. That's what I meant, not 2.3, 2.2, 20.3, 20.2. I apologise about the getting it wrong, but that doesn't cut away from the action. So we're on lap 19 of 31 here. We have 12 laps left to go of the Singapore Grand Prix. So we're getting ever so closely to that final lap where potentially President might have already caught up to Carl, or Carl might be running away with it. I mean, look at it. We have 12 laps left to go. Preston has a 19.7 second gap between him and Carl. I mean, the fact is he is breaking away, but might I add, if we look at the tyres, actually no, Carl's is fresher by 1 lap. So the fact that Preston is catching up is major. Remember that, absolutely major, because that's crazy. I mean, yes, Carl is major ahead of him, so is where we come into it, but still, the fact that's happening is, again, major. But, who knows? I mean, Harry now with a 9.8 second gap between him and Preston. Now, I mean, Preston, I'm trying to go to other people, but it's hard because they ain't really doing anything, unfortunately. I mean, what, we got Jamie in P15, Ritvic now back into the pits in P18. He's going to get even more behind than he already is, unfortunately, for Ritvic. What's going to happen is something going to be very interesting. A lot of VAI's going to pit now. Will the drivers follow on from him? I mean, Ritvic's already pitted, yes. But will the other drivers follow the AI's lead, or will they wait till later? I mean, is this a 2-stop race, or is this a 1-stop race for our guys? I mean, how many times have the guys stopped already? Should we, if we can find it? I don't think we can. I mean, surely I don't think we can find pit stops. No. I went straight past it. Everyone has stopped except once, except the guys who just stopped a minute ago. That including Jamie and Ritvic. So those guys already completed their 2 stops, but everyone else hasn't. But then again, I mean, I know they're AIs. I mean, Pierre Gasly going into pits, George Russell going into pits. I'm sure Mick Schumacher will, and not Fernando Alonso. I mean, Nikita Mazepin will as well, because they haven't stopped yet. They're on hard tyres, so probably need to freshen up very soon. But who knows whether that will actually happen or not. But here we go now, with Preston still breaking away at that time. 16.3 second gap between him and Carl. He is majorly catching up. If we can see this battle on the final lap of race, oh my, I will enjoy it. It will be the greatest battle ever. I mean, the first season 1 drivers and one half of constructors champion, and the highest ranked in this season, potential season 2 drivers champion in the running for it right now, battling it out would be such a fun battle to see. But will it happen or not? That is solely the question we're all asking ourselves. I mean, 14 second gap now. I mean, that's a 14.4 second gap, sorry. It's at a 40.2. It keeps changing, alright? Don't try and say I ain't getting it right, because I am. It just keeps changing, alright? I mean, come on. But, apologise if you're hearing me sniff, by the way. I said, as soon as I start a video, I start sniffing, I start choking, basically. YouTube, I don't mean that literally, alright? Do not, please do not take that seriously. I start coughing, I start everything that could potentially go wrong in recording a video, and this video is over an hour long, so it's a very tough video to make when trying to commentate for the whole time. But we do carry on now with a 13.6 second gap. He's not closing that gap any further, and it's not looking good. I mean, 10 seconds. Carl's pitting. It is what I think it's for. It's softs. That changes the ball game entirely. Carl knows he's under threat. Preston takes the lead, but Carl is now getting out of the pit lane. How much of a gap will Preston be able to make up? I'm sure he's going to be trying to make up whatever gap he can. Hopefully, maybe a long enough gap. I mean, voice break right there. Laugh all you want, people. Go ahead. I know you want to. But Harry has now overtaken Carl. I think, Callum's not bad too, but a lot of drivers are unlapping themselves, so they're all going to have to get relapped, which will take more time, and Carl's going to have to build up on the 7-second gap that Harry's got, to build up on the 10-second gap that Harry's got on Preston. I mean, Preston has time to pit here. Like, don't get that wrong, people. He has the time to pit. Will he pit and complete this one stop, or will he wait till later on in the race where his sauce will be freshened and Carl's won't be? I mean, you've got 9 laps left to go. Carl on new sauce. Will those sauce even last 10 laps? I mean, that's going to be the question. It's definitely going to be difficult for Carl to even try and hold that those softs, I'm sure. But now Carl getting past all those unlapped cars, lapping them once again, setting the fastest in sector 2 here. Nicely done there by Carl, I must say. Will Preston pit? The answer is about to come. He might be he's not pitting, and his mediums were a shorter life than Carl's was. So that means, yes, Preston has 8 lap on mediums and Carl goes 1 lap on softs now. Is Preston, I don't know how Preston's playing this. I mean, is Preston playing this on the fact that, what, you got 8 laps left, so that's 16 lap on mediums. Carl has to do 10 lap old softs. What's going to break down first? I mean, that is the question everyone wants to know. And who's going to get affected the most? I mean, it's definitely going to be a very interesting question, that's for sure. But Preston trying his all he can to stay ahead. I mean, Preston gets that 11-second gap on Harry. Carl trying his best to catch up. I mean, even if Carl catches up to Harry, as long as Preston can get away from Harry, which we know he can, he's still creating that gap even further than he does ever. So it's definitely going to be a very interesting one. This is a very weird scenario. I mean, look at Carl. He's breaking down that gap between him and Harry. But as I just said, Preston's creating more of a gap between him and Harry. So, I mean, what's going to break down? What's going to grow or break down first? I mean, or will Preston pit first? I mean, I'm sure he's trying to get away. I'm sure he knows if he pits now, Carl's overtaking him no matter what. And then all of his hard work's out window. But what, you've got 7 laps left to go, nearly 6 laps, I believe. No, 8 laps, nearly 7 laps. Sorry. If he can hold this out somehow, some way, if he can hold this out for now 7 laps, this could be utterly major. But I mean, who knows if he'll be able to do that or not? Me just having to make sure that it was 7 laps left to go. I was just doing like, hold up, but not. Am I sure? Am I sure? Just yeah. Oh yeah, it is. But that's the worries of trying to do math in your head whilst commentating. It's never going to go well. But 12.2 second gap now between Preston and Harry, whilst Carl has a 4.1 second gap between him and Harry. I mean, Carl is majorly closing this gap, but I mean, Preston is still on top with that 12. And also, may I add, if Harry finishes P2 and Carl finishes P3, yes, Carl will be extending his gap, I'm sure, but Harry will be getting the more points between him and Carl. I mean, so this could both have championship implications, but Carl is closing that gap majorly on Harry. Will Harry let it go? I mean, you have a championship fight here, Harry. Well, I would suggest you defend and try and get the most points you can, because you know you need to, but you do have 2 races left to go. But then again, Carl will probably be on top of those as well. So that's the question you've got to ask yourself. Are you going to do this for the team, or are you going to do this for the championship? Who knows? But Preston now going into the pits with he has a 17-second gap between him and Carl. Can he get out in time? I mean, that's now a 16-second gap. The seconds are breaking down by the minute, trying to get the softs on. Harry overtakes him. Now Carl, but Preston is not far behind. Preston's trying his utter best to get out. He is now at a disadvantage. Carl is racing ahead of him 3.3 seconds. I'm sure that's going to be extended as soon as Preston gets out. That's now 3.1. What's it going to end up being? A 6-second gap? I'm maybe sure. No, it's staying at that 3.1 second gap of disadvantage for Preston. But can he catch up? I mean, Harry's now on top. That is a change of pace right there. Harry being on top, but he is on old mediums. He's on 11 lap old mediums. Can he really and truly hold off the new softs of Carl? I mean, that's the question. I mean, Preston has an absolute job to do here. Can he catch up to Carl in the time that remains? I think it is doable. It is really doable, because he broke down like a 23-second gap to at least like 12 seconds before Carl pitted. But it is happening. 7.6 seconds, 7.8. I mean, it is truly, truly crazy what is going on here. This could be absolutely major if Preston can just overtake Carl. But I mean, if he overtakes Carl, can he overtake Harry? Or will Carl overtake Harry before Preston can? I mean, that's the thing you got to decide for. I mean, if Carl can break down that gap between Harry, but Preston stays on Carl's tail, I think Preston could do this and get the first victory he's had since Bahrain, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but I actually do believe it's Bahrain. But his time is only going up now with a 4.80, 4.7. No, that time is not going up. It's in fact going down. I was looking at the wrong time. I was looking at the gap between Carl and Harry. That gap is going down. Preston is chipping away at that gap at every moment of this race. I mean, with 5 laps left to go, he still has that time, and he has a purple sector 1, folks. A purple sector 1. That is major. The fact is, he wants that win. Can he get it? I mean, he might even just be able to get this P2, and that would change the championship impactfully. I mean, that would be not a massive point difference, but it would be a bigger point difference than if Carl was to finish P2. And imagine if Harry finished P1 and Carl finished P3. The fact that would change everything, and I promise you, I will include the leaderboard. At the start of the next race. I believe I did it in this one as well, if I'm correct. I may be wrong, in fact, but I believe I did. But now Preston a 4.2 second gap, whilst Carl has a 1.5 second gap. They are both catching up to each other. I mean, if Preston can just get his game on and no, Carl overtakes Harry due to the pit stop, which means Preston's going to overtake Harry with a 139.543 with the fastest lap of the race, 3.3 second gap. I mean, if Preston only has one guy in his sights now, and that is the current championship leader, Carl. I mean, if he can somehow overtake Carl and get the first, P20 to P1, it's never been done before. I mean, people say, yeah, Lewis Hamilton did it. No, Lewis did it, got P20 to P10 in a sprint race, and then did the rest of the work in a race. So technically it was 2 different races that he did the work. So I don't think you can physically count that. Sorry, Ritvick, I know you're a Hamilton fan, but I'm sorry, it is true. But now Preston absolutely trying his utter best to chip that away. And may I just say, whilst we've been distracted with this, absolute battle. Ritvic up to P10, Jamie up to P13, so they are getting up there very slowly but surely, so it's nice to see them try their best to get into the points. And I mean, Ritvic is, so that'd be good for McLaren to get at least 1 point out of this race, and I'm sure it might be another point in a minute if Ritvic can keep attacking. But Jamie is on the attack right now for Mick Schumacher. Can he overtake Schumacher? It'll definitely be very interesting to see, that's for sure. But now, Carl is trying still his best to get away from Preston, but Preston's still catching up here. This is major. This is absolutely major. If Preston can overtake Carl, 2.236 second gap with a 139.341. Carl just hit the wall. Carl just hit the wall with an automatic reset to track, but that makes all the flipping difference. A 2.2 second gap now. Carl's realising his mistake. Carl is seriously under pressure with 3 laps left to go this race. Preston could take this if he can just keep this fight going, and that DRS will come into effect. And I think with the way that Preston is counting down these seconds, that DRS will be on the second to last, if not the very last lap. So it's definitely about to get very, very interesting. That is for sure. But here we go now with Preston. A 2.236 second gap. Come on, Preston. Let's get down this time. 1.9 second gap now. He's closing this time astronomically. Oh my lord, he is really counting down this time. I mean, come on. He is, I mean, somehow Carl's actually getting away now. But can we just add, I mean, let's look at how old these tyres are. Carl on 5 lap old softs, Preston on 2 lap old softs. You have what? 3 laps left to go. Carl's will go to 8 laps. Preston will go to 5 laps. That tyre degradation will come into effect very soon. And it's coming to effect right now, as Preston is in a 1.7 second gap now between him and Carl. And Carl is getting past that Williams, I do believe. Preston is now going to have to get past with a 1.6 second gap. Can Preston quickly get past that Williams? And it seems to be Williams holding him up. But no, he's got past his old team. And with a 1.5 second gap, and due to Preston being behind, he's got that DRS on Matt Williams, and now he is charting after the Red Bull of Carl. The first time that Carl's literally being under attack properly and stressed out. I mean, this could be utterly major. The first time we see Carl lose since Bahrain. No, he's lost before in Monaco and in France, and he lost in Belgium because he DNF'd and he won in Zandvoort. But I mean, let's just say it's been a while since he's been actually beaten in a battle. But Carl actually improving the gap. Preston losing. I don't know what Preston's doing, but he is losing this gap on Carl. Carl is somehow getting away with a 3 second gap, 2.9. Preston was so close, but in my distraction, Carl has got majorly ahead. I mean, Carl is trying his utter best to keep this gap. And he is, may I just say, 2.8 second gap now. I mean, 2 laps left. I truly think. I mean, what, you've got 2 laps left to go now. He is seriously Preston is seriously trying to catch up, but somehow, some way, Carl is getting away. I hate to say it. No! That's his race got. No, I mean, he's still P2, but wait, what? Auto reset to track, I'm guessing, or what did I just see lag or something? I don't know. Preston just crashed on my screen, but he didn't actually. I don't know, but 1.9 second gap now between Preston and Carl. That is not getting broken down. I do not know why. It's kind of worrying, the fact that that's actually staying at a stalemate. I mean, why isn't that changing? The other scores are, but that isn't. why? Let's change this. I need to see the gaps here. I mean, what is going on here? Let's change the fast lap and change it back. I mean, it's just not changing. We don't know where... This is how intense this battle is. We don't actually know whether the person is catching up, losing time, or anything here. We're just kind of stuck on 1.969. Thank you so much, F1 Game, for your utter contribution and to this race. I mean, it's the first time it's been a major race, and you're mucking it up. But, doesn't matter. I mean, Preston's still charting straight after Cole. Could he catch up in time? I mean, he could massively improve his gap. No, massively decrease. It's reset to 2.9 seconds. That's very unfortunate. It must have come from a crash that happened to Preston when he auto reset. He has a 2. Yeah, right. 3 second gap, 2.9 second gap between one more lap. I hate to say it, but it could happen. But I don't think Preston has the time to catch up. I'm not saying he could never catch up, but what he has half a lap left to go of this race. I mean, I actually don't think Preston, unfortunately, can catch up in this instance. I mean, 3.371. I mean, let's not forget, this is the first time for Cole's ever been literally under threat, and it was only because Preston crashed into the wall, and luckily not DNFing, but crashing into the wall, that unfortunately Preston has lost his time. But I mean, it is what it is. Preston will settle for P2, I'm sure, because he has had an utterly amazing race to come back from P20. I mean, he may not be the first person to get that P1 spot from P20, but he's done the first person to get from P20 to P2. And well done to Preston here. He has beaten Cole's record of P20. I mean, Cole went to P3, I believe, didn't he? Or P4. But no, Preston has beaten that and gone to P2. What a brilliant race by Preston here today. What an amazing race. And here we go with Harry, about to finish his lap. But guys, I forgot to say it. Here is your winner of the Singapore Grand Prix for the first time ever, Carl from Red Bull. Well done to Carl. That will massively improve his championship chances after Harry finishes P3 with less points gained from his race. But can Harry come back in Brazil? That will be the fun part, as Jamie just finishes. And of course, what is going on with Callum? He is very far behind, I must say. But absolutely well done to Carl, and well done to Preston. As I was saying, a major race here today to get up to P2. I mean, what an amazing race. Here comes Callum round the final bend here. And here we go, crosses the line. And that is the end of the Singapore Grand Prix for all of you folks here today. Thank you for joining us. And the driver of the day will appear any minute. There we go. As deserved, Preston gets driver of the day for the first time this season, I'm pretty sure. Here we are with the podium now. You have Carl on P1 as usual. You have Preston for the first time in a while as P2. Absolutely glorious race from Preston today, I must say. Absolutely great race from Carl. Also to keep that massive gap. And well done to Harry for that P3 as well. Major win. And of course Callum getting that P4. And Ritvic and Jamie. Ritvic and Matt P10. Jamie and P13. What a great race. Let's go leaderboard. Here we are with your leaderboard, and as I just said, you have your P1 as Carl, P2 as Preston, P3 as Harry, P4 as Callum. As we drop down a little bit, P10 in Ritvik in the McLaren, and P13 as Jamie in McLaren. Thank you all for joining us here at the Singapore Grand Prix. We'll be back with you next week with the Brazilian Grand Prix, but not before the Singapore highlights, but that will come very on the Wednesday, of course. But yeah, see you next week for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Thank you for joining us, and see you all next time. Peace out, guys. Goodbye.